You are experiencing something right now. The color of this screen, the sound of my voice, the feeling of just being you. And after 400 years of trying, nobody can fully explain how. Here is a strange fact about being human. The one thing you are most certain of, that you are here, aware, having an experience right now, is the one thing science has the hardest time explaining. You can weigh a brain, map its cells, watch it light up on a scanner. But none of that tells you why there is something it feels like to be that brain from the inside. That gap is what we are going to sit with today. Not to solve it, because honestly, nobody has, but to trace how the smartest people in history have tried. Our story really gets going in the 1600s with a French philosopher named René Descartes. He wanted to find one thing he could not possibly doubt, so he stripped everything away. Maybe his senses lied to him. Maybe the whole world was an illusion, but the very fact that he was doubting proved something was doing the doubting. That is where we get the famous line, "I think, therefore I am." Descartes concluded that mind and body were two different substances, the physical body and a separate, non-physical thinking mind. That idea, called dualism, shaped Western thinking for centuries. It also left us with a problem we still have not escaped. Descartes' split was elegant, but it raised an obvious question. If the mind is non-physical and the body is physical, how do the two ever touch? How does a thought, made of nothing you can measure, move your very physical arm? Descartes guessed it happened in a tiny gland in the brain, which turned out to be wrong. Later thinkers called his whole picture the ghost in the machine and mostly rejected it. But notice something. We rejected his answer, and we still do not have a better one that everybody accepts. The hard part he stumbled into never actually went away. Over the next few centuries, the momentum shifted hard toward the physical. Neurologists studying patients with brain injuries found something striking. Damage one region, and a person loses language. Damage another, and they lose the ability to recognize faces or to feel fear. The mind was not floating free of the body. It was intimately, precisely tied to the tissue. By the 20th century, and especially with modern brain imaging, we could watch specific patterns of activity rise and fall as people saw, remembered, and decided. Consciousness, it seemed, was something the brain does. But being able to point at the machinery is not the same as understanding how the machinery produces an experience. In the 1990s, a philosopher named David Chalmers gave this frustration a name. He said there are easy problems of consciousness, how the brain processes light, stores memories, controls attention. Those are hard in practice, but we know what an answer would look like. Then there is the hard problem. Why is any of that accompanied by inner experience at all? Why does processing red light come with the actual felt redness of red? You could imagine a brain doing all the same information processing in the dark, with nobody home. The fact that someone is home, that is the mystery no scan has cracked. And being honest, we do not currently know if it is a puzzle we will solve or a limit on what brains can understand about themselves. That said, real progress is being made, and it deserves credit. Serious research programs are hunting for the neural correlates of consciousness, the specific brain activity that reliably comes with being aware versus not. There are competing theories fighting it out. Global workspace theory says consciousness is information being broadcast widely across the brain. Integrated information theory tries to measure consciousness as how tightly a system's information is woven together. These are testable, respectable ideas, and researchers are running head-to-head experiments to sort them out. But it is worth being clear, these theories describe when and where consciousness shows up. Whether any of them truly explains why experience exists is still fiercely debated. Now, why does an AI channel care about all this? Because as machines get better at sounding aware, people are going to ask whether they actually are, and the honest answer runs straight through this same unsolved problem. If we cannot yet say what makes a biological brain conscious, we are in a weak position to declare a silicon system either definitely is or definitely is not. Be skeptical of anyone who sounds too certain in either direction. A system that talks about feelings is not proof of feelings, and confident dismissals are not proof of absence. The intellectually honest stance is to hold the question open, keep testing, and resist the urge to let a good story stand in for evidence. So after 400 years, from Descartes' lonely certainty to brain scanners and rival theories, where are we? We know consciousness is deeply tied to the brain. We can predict a lot about it, and we still cannot fully explain why there is an inside to any of it. That is not a failure to be embarrassed about. It might be the most interesting open question there is. The willingness to say we do not know yet, and to keep looking anyway, is exactly the spirit worth carrying into the age of thinking machines. So the next time you catch yourself just being aware, sit with how strange and unexplained that really is, and if questions like this pull at you, subscribe to Talk to Caleb, and let's keep wondering, honestly, together. Subscribe to Talk to Caleb.